Back at it again, and hey, listen. The cases are all falling apart. Every single one of them, top to bottom. And we're going to be talking about that a little bit today. In this specific video, though, we're going to be talking about the Fanny McFanny case and how that one is crumbling right before our eyes. We'll talk about the others in later videos, so stick around. You're not going to want to miss those either. But like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
Chris, this certainly won't make the case move any faster. So essentially what we learned is that Donald Trump and co-defendants are now going to have an appeals court hear their position, their attempt to try and get Fanny Willis thrown off the case. You'll remember that a Fulton County Superior Court judge earlier this year said that she can stay on the case as long as Nathan Wade, her former special prosecutor, resigned. He did so that very same day, but now the door isn't closed on that. It's just moved on to the next chapter. The Georgia Court of Appeals is going to be hearing this, and basically Trump is going to have another attempt, another opportunity to try and get her taken off the case and get the entire indictment thrown out. Now, I think it's important to put it into perspective, Chris, is that we have seen other matters related to this Georgia interference case go before the Georgia Court of Appeals, most notably Mark Meadows. Remember, he was trying to get this whole thing moved to federal court. The appeals court said, yeah, we'll hear the case. They heard both sides, and then they shot down that request. So just because, of course, it's going to be heard before the appeals court doesn't guarantee an outcome, but certainly it is good news for Trump and his team that it is going to be heard for appeal today.
Silly rabbits. Tricks are for kids. So, Trump is going to get his day in court to appeal, which, listen, worst case scenario, it's pushed back even further, right? Because we don't even have an official start date for this whole trial in this case or anything as of yet. Okay, so that's one thing. But now that potential start date that the judge might have had in mind is going to be pushed back even further because there's an appeal first. And even when that case comes down, there might be another appeal to the Supreme Court on what that decision may be. So oh man, this is glorious. This is glorious. But you know, there is one thing about this entire situation that I do think is a little bit questionable, and we'll get back into the meat and potatoes here in a second, but I do want you guys to see this because I don't know if you guys heard, but the J6 committee deleted some tapes, some very important tapes that they might have had with Fanny Willis.
Good morning, Congressman. Would you like to comment on the J6 committee deleting their communications? I talked to Fanny Willis, your best friend, last weekend, and she didn't want to comment either. Are you sure you don't want to talk about the J6 committee deleting their communications with Fanny Willis, Congressman, are asking? You usually love talking to me. Why are you so quiet today?
I wonder why he didn't want to talk. And you know, I wonder why they deleted the communications. Let's take a look and see what Fanny Willis had to say. Shout out to Laura Loomer, by the way. That's where this clip is coming from.
Hey, Fanny, how come you haven't complied with the Judiciary Committee's request for your communications with the January 6th committee? Did Joe Biden promise you a position at the DOJ during his second administration? Are you going to be ordering Grey Goose tonight, paying in cash? You say that Donald Trump is violating the law, but you haven't even sent your communications with the J6 committee that was requested by the Judiciary Committee.
Oh, Fanny thought she got away. Laura Loomer hot on her tail. I'm going to have to mute this because there's music playing in the background. But as you can see, Laura Loomer pulled up. Hey, Laura Loomer was about that action, boss. She pulled up to where Fanny Willis left to. And of course, she started asking her some
our
more.
justice system against Donald Trump.
A special shout out to hip rock star, social exchange.
Why so quiet now? Cat got your tongue? Oh boy, these folks are in trouble. In trouble. The left, their entire plan is completely crumbling before their eyes. And as this guy said, you know, I'm just going to play the clip because it's absolutely hilarious. Check it out.
Delay. In Florida, delayed indefinitely. Now, Georgia, it has been a rough few days for Jack Smith and Fanny Willis. Mark, do you think we are going to see any progress here before the election and after the election? Do you think these trials are ever going to happen?
Well, I don't know. But I mean, the key question is anything going to happen before the election? And I think the answer is no. The days of magical legal thinking are over. The cavalry is not coming. The legal cavalry is not coming to the rescue of Joe Biden.
The legal cavalry is not coming to the rescue of Joe Biden and Democrats as they had hoped. They were banking on the legal cavalry coming in and saving the Democrat Party from their terrible policies and how they've absolutely destroyed this country. And it ain't gonna work. Not going to happen. Not at all. Every single one of these cases is completely falling apart right before our eyes. And it is fantastic to see. It's glorious to see. To watch leftist media and Democrats cry about it. Right? And we're gonna talk about the Jack Smith documents case, because woo, are they seething over that one. They trying to get Judge what's her name? Is it Eileen Cannon? I believe that's her name. I could be wrong, but they're trying to get her up out of there. But I ain't gonna spoil too much for that video clip. All right, but let's continue.
Let's get right to the breaking news out of Georgia and Donald Trump's election interference case there. An appeals court has just announced it will review the judge's ruling to let prosecutor Fanny Willis stay on this case. Trump and his co-defendants want to remove her from the case because of her personal relationship with the former top prosecutor. And joining us now, former U.S. attorney and MSNBC legal analyst Joyce Vance. Joyce, this is the appeals court now reviewing the judge's decision to let Willis stay on the case. What does this really mean? What's the process going to be now?
Right. So this is what's called an interlocutory appeal on an appeal that takes place before trial. And the Court of Appeals wasn't obligated to hear this appeal. The decision this morning is that they will, in fact, take the case. It's taken them weeks to make the decision simply to hear the case. That means we're more likely in for months before they decide whether the trial judge got it right when he said Fanny Willis could stay on the case. If that decision happens months out, whichever party loses is likely to take an appeal to Georgia's Supreme Court, and that effectively means that this trial will not take place before the election.
Joyce, Nathan Wade, the person who was a special prosecutor she had brought on, who she had this relationship with, he just gave an interview to ABC News over the weekend, and I want to play part of what he said.
Workplace romances are as American as apple pie. It happens to everyone.
Do you think that you've done any?
Workplace romances are as American as apple pie. No. Did Fanny Willis campaign on not doing that? Y'all remember that? She literally campaigned on that herself because allegedly the previous DA was having some relationships allegedly with some of the folks that worked under him. And now that's just as American as apple pie. Wow, what a shame. What a shame. This guy actually said that.
Any kind of damage to this case?
None at all.
Even the public perception of it?
There again, this takes me back to the initial statement that I made. My private life became the focal point of the case. in my private life has nothing to do with the merits of that prosecution.
Joyce, will the appeals court agree?
Well, look, Mr. Wade is entitled to his opinion, but prosecutors are held to and have to hold themselves to a higher standard of conduct. The decision here, may well be that there is some problem, but the trial judge saw fit to cure any issues by saying that Willis could stay on the case as long as Wade didn't. That was a good split the baby solution, and it wouldn't be unexpected if the Court of Appeals affirms the trial judge here.
And just the fact that the appeals court decided to take this, didn't just swat it away, what does that tell you about where this could be headed?
Yeah, I don't read anything substantive into this decision. I think this case is high profile. It's political. Georgia has elected state appellate courts. It's not surprising that they would feel obligated to hear this case rather than just to let it ride.
I mean, of course they had to hear the case. I mean, you're taking a former president, someone who is leading in the presidential race, you're trying to throw him in jail. So if you do that incorrectly, it's going to come back to bite you and haunt you for forever. So of course you had to do this. Of course they had to they have to dot every I and cross every T. And once they do, he's going to walk free. It's that simple. And that kind of rhymed, actually. Did not do that on purpose. But, that is, in my humble opinion, that's going to be the outcome. He's going to walk free, and he's going to be in the White House once again. And it's going to be glorious to watch all of these Democrats who clapped like a bunch of, I'm gonna be polite here. I'm not gonna go down that path. They clapped and got excited when all of these indictments were announced, and now all of them are crumbling right before their eyes. And not only that, but Uncle Trump is going to be walking back into the White House. I cannot wait to watch the images that are going to come the day that he retakes office. I can't wait. But as always, y'all let me know your thoughts, your opinions on all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.